I believe my audience for my media product would be people who are interested in dance music and festivals, as the main person in my magazine, Cara, has the appearance of a real dance festival girl. I chose blacks, purples and whites to suggest it may be girls who are more interested. However, it does appeal to boys too, as blacks and whites are neutral colours for both genders. However, after I reflected back on what I had done, I changed the colours I used, as I felt these didn't work as well as reds, blacks and whites. I think the ages of the people who would be interested in my magazine would be people ranging from 16 to late 20s, as these are the ages of people who would be going to festivals and I believe interested in this type of music. I also believe these people would have enough money to be able to afford the price of my magazine, as it's not too expensive but reasonable. I believe that people of this age think it's important to be current and informed about the latest bands and music. Therefore, I believe this is a good magazine for this audience. I think they would be also interested in when the latest gigs were and who they can expect to be hearing from soon. The older people who would be buying my magazine would be mostly likely at uni, so would be likely to go into latest festivals. I then placed other images on the side, but these images were much smaller to make sure they are clear to be seen but not taking the emphasis off my main elements. I also had to think about the amounts of fonts I used so that it didn't end up looking messy. I also had to make sure that all these fonts were very similar. For example, I used quite bold square looking fonts. I also had to keep the choice of colours to a minimum so that it looked like everything fitted well together, making the theme of colours run throughout. In comparison to my school magazine, my music magazine has been kept more professional looking from the choice of fonts. The choice of fonts in my music magazine look as if they're all right for the genre, which I feel is edgy and bold, looking like the type of writing associated with music magazines today. The fonts I have used for my school magazine are hard to read and boring, making it very unattractive. Therefore, this results in them not standing out for my audience or grabbing their attention in any way. In my music magazine, I kept my fonts to a minimum, using only 3 so that it looks more practical, as well as making sure the 3 different fonts I used are very similar. However, in my school magazine, even though I have only used 3 fonts, each font is very different, making each piece of text look out of place and unattractive. Also, I included a barcode in my music magazine, as every magazine has to have one. However, my school magazine didn't, showing how non-professional it is. Therefore, this proves how when I first made my school magazine, I wasn't as experienced with the different technologies as I am now after making my music magazine.